Hey folks, we're coming up on Halloween, and I thought we might as well talk about something spooky. And what better to talk about than some of Junji Ito's masterpieces? Specifically, we'll be covering the anime adaptations that you can find on Netflix. Be forewarned, Junji Ito produces some of the most vile ideas and stories on the planet. Just saying. Let's get into it. We begin our story with a group of archaeologists. It seems they've found someone who's been buried in a very strange way. It's almost as if they put the body somewhere, then just layered clay on top of it over and over and over again until it looked like some sort of doll. We get pretty much no info about it except for one of the archaeologists seems to be oddly interested in the skull they find at the bottom of the layers. And after the title card, we join three women driving down a highway. An older woman is in the back seat with her youngest daughter while the oldest daughter is driving the car. Straight away, we realize how unhealthy this trio's relationship with each other is.
And it's not like we were rich, so instead of investing a little in both of us, they put it all into you.
No amount of money could have fixed you, because you're ugly.
Holy shit, call an ambulance. That was brutal. The daughter who's driving, Narumi, is understandably like, "Excuse me," taking her eyes off the road for about 2 seconds, which is enough time for a truck to appear out of nowhere. Other than drilling that sign, that was a very tame wreck. I'd be stunned if anybody got seriously injured.
Raimi? Raimi, are you okay?
First question, how did the sign get in there? Anywho, after Raimi, the youngest daughter, gets a facelift by a road sign, it's time for a trip to the hospital, as you might expect. However, as you definitely don't expect if you haven't read or seen this before, things get bizarre. The two ladies are waiting outside the operating room, and the doctor comes out saying something akin to, "Guys, you gotta check this wild shit out."
Her face? But how could... There's another face.
What the fuck? Regardless of how wild this is, the doctor calmly explains what's happening. Not only is there a face underneath her face, in addition, she's missing all those organs we expect people to have. And the closest example of a similar phenomenon he could come up with is the rings of a tree showing age.
In other words, the center here is what she looked like as a fetus, and as you get closer to the outside, 1 year old, 2 years old, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8, 9, 10. Why are you counting? Well, this is just a basket of screwed up. I really do wonder, where could this story possibly be taking us? Somewhere downright hellish. The doctor explains that the layers represent each year of the girl's life. And the mother's response is, "Wow, that's real interesting. All right, I guess we'll take her home then." Before they do that though, the oldest daughter and the mother have a chat out in the courtyard. And it's in this conversation where the oldest daughter reveals that she's known about this condition for a long time, at least in herself.
I thought I was the only one who was cursed. If you don't believe me, look. My body's made of multiple layers too.
I'm sure you want an explanation to that. Those beautiful chompers. And luckily enough, Narumi actually gives us one. So it turns out that the archaeologist we were talking about a while back was Raimi and Narumi's father, and this condition is actually a curse that they inherited because he dug up the weird burial site. Late at night, the mother is watching over Raimi, and she's babbling in a manic way that is wholly disturbing in its own right.
Little Raimi, I know you're in there. If you can hear me, say something, my 2-year-old Raimi. Please answer me, sweet Raimi. I know you're there. Please come and hug me.
Yeah, that's terrifying, but I'll tell you what's even worse. She gets a response.
Mama. Mama.
What do you do? What does she do in this situation? Well, yeah, that's some vile shit, man. But we're not even close to done just yet. Narumi's like, what the hell is that scream? So she investigates to find what we expect, a serial killer like painting of a scene. It's very screwed up. She got a box cutter out and everything. You think that's bad? No. What's next is bad. Before Narumi can pry that totally insane mother off her sister, she hears the voice too. And weirdly, is completely on board with digging it out of that poor girl. So as you do, they start peeling and peeling and peeling. You want to take a guess at what they find? You know, after all that shredding. I wouldn't recommend it, because you're gonna be wrong.
I don't understand. Where's the rest of her? Where is she?
That is a sickening sight. At this point, what the mother does next seems pretty reasonable.
I had the most brilliant idea. I must be affected by the curse too. So I'll peel my skin all the way down to my 38-year-old self and give birth to sweet Raimi again.
Okay.
Narumi, watch closely. Here I go.
So, turns out she didn't have the curse. Also, I'm not gonna be hungry for a few days. The conclusion of this story is mildly depressing. Poor Narumi has the curse. Her mother is now faceless and just sitting in a corner. And also her sister is whatever you would call this. Wow, I couldn't be more excited to move on to the next one. Let's do it.
Yuji.
Have you ever had trouble sleeping? Well, I'm sure you have. Although the problem definitely wasn't as bad as poor Yuji's. As he explains it to the wonderfully beautiful girl sitting across from him in this diner, it's not that he can't sleep, it's what would happen if he actually started sleeping.
It's like this. My other self, the one that lives inside my dream world, is trying to find a way to come into the real world. He wakes up the instant I fall asleep.
Yeah, I get it. Doesn't really make any sense, but the girl has the same response.
That's one of your fantasies again. Have you tried seeing a doctor?
A doctor? You're right. A doctor? Yeah, a doctor might be able to help me out. Thanks, Mari, you really came through.
I love how he's just like, never mind. Mari quickly realizes her response definitely wasn't all that helpful, and she chases after our boy, who simply states he just needs someone to watch over him. Later on, she arrives at Yuji's apartment to help him and finds the man just blasting beats in his ear, trying his absolute best not to fall asleep. He stated earlier that he's been awake for at least 3 days, so this is all pretty much an exercise in futility. Luckily for him, Mari is willing to help. So at his request, they duct tape the shit out of his entire body. If we go off his strange explanation of the problem he's having, this should work. I guess if you have some sort of alter ego that controls your body when you go to sleep, yeah, duct tape ought to work. Except, he explained it in the worst possible way, as you'll quickly see. Yeah, so what he meant, there's someone inside his dream world, he meant like, there's like someone like in the reverse inside of him.
Let go of me! Yuji!
Wake up!
How does that make sense? I don't know. But immediately, Yuji's like, help me out here, sweetheart. And both of them have to pull his arm back through the sleeve, leading us to Yuji giving an explanation of why this internal man is trying to break free, if you will.
Why would this opposite you want to escape from that?
Because he wants you, Mari.
What?
The flip side of me is still me, understand? We share desires.
What a strange time to be confessed to. Also, he falls asleep pretty much immediately afterwards. I'll be fair, I have no idea what I would do in this situation if I was Mari. Perhaps try tying him up a lot. That would probably work. What she decides to do, however, I think is brain dead.
I don't want that. No matter what, I'll pull you out of the dream world.
Clasp his hand so that she could, like, pull it out while the inversion is happening. Yeah, that's exactly how I thought things would turn out. Or turn inside out. But on ching! After a while of Mari being missing, people show up to Yuji's apartment.
No matter where you look, you won't find her. At least not in the real world.
The real world? What do you mean by that?
Confused. She's become my internal organs.
What do you mean? You didn't... Did you eat her?
We don't get a great look at the inverted version of Yuji, but I can assure you, he's as bad at giving descriptions as his uninverted self.
Eat her? Not at all. She's merely departed this world for my dream one.
In all fairness, I don't know how you would properly describe what happened to Mari. But either way, I think it's time we get on to the next episode I want to talk about. Best buckle up because this is a wild experience. A very popular idol is found hanging outside her apartment. The news causes an outrage and a whole bunch of simps are quite aggravated. So they try to beat the shit out of her boyfriend.
You were the one that drove her to her death! It's because of you that did me!
That's right! This is on you!
Move out of the way, I want to...
Stop that right now! Either you stop or I'm going to call the police. There were tons at the service today, so they'd be here right away.
Kazuko's that girl's name, and you know she's the main character because she's such a damn cutie. In the next scene, we get a whole bunch of news reports where it appears a whole bunch of people are seeing the idol's ghost.
Sometime around midnight, it was above that tree over there. Her head was enlarged and floating.
Her head?
That's weird. He saw like a balloon head of the dead girl. That's kinda goofy. It turns out the idol's boyfriend is dealing with something similar.
It floats above the yard of my house all the time.
Huh?
No matter where I am, it stares right at me with hollow eyes.
What in the world are you talking about?
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. Except our dear main character gets a call in the middle of the night from the poor boyfriend.
She showed up. She's moving north really slowly. Get over here quick, and you can see her too. I'm calling from the phone booth at Ishoji Temple.
Shiraishi?
Okay, yeah, it looks a little goofy. Our girl finds the boyfriend acting like a complete lunatic, reaching out towards the blimp balloon thing. As he tries to grab a hold, a noose slowly lowers from above him, then maneuvers directly over his head. Natural selection.
Shiraishi, no! Get down from there!
It came from another balloon. But this one had his head. And oddly, the two heads start smooching while this poor bastard is dangling around like a marionette. Anyway, the next morning, the girls are walking around talking about that weird debacle.
Hey, look, up in the sky there. What are those things? What the...
Don't think we're gonna need very many guesses for this one.
They look like oversized heads of people. You see it too, Chihadu?
Is it my imagination, or are they moving toward us right now?
The two surviving girls duck into an alleyway, which is a solid idea, except for the lack of physics in Junji Ito's world. The ropes, having a mind of their own, are able to weave their way into the alley. Good thing there's a grumpy armed citizen in one of the apartments above them. He's gonna take his crossbow. This isn't America. He can't send screaming freedom at those ugly bastards, but this'll do.
What are you... What the...
They're trying to hang us! Help us!
Stay there, I'll be back! Die!
Ching! 100 points, no hit marker. This is gonna be such an easy road to go down. All we gotta do is blast all the balloons out of the sky and it'll all turn out fine. You know, I could have sworn the balloon already went. Oh my god! How? So here's an interesting bit of news. Any damage done to the balloon does the same damage to the corresponding person. That's not fair. And to make everything worse, there's a lot of them. One for every single Japanese citizen.
The skies above us are riddled with the lifeless bodies of their victims who were hung by their necks. Hey, that one's... Oh, no.
This reporter's hilarious. Stupid, but hilarious.
That one looks like me. That's my own head, and it's heading this way. There's a rope coming down towards me. Oh!
He just had to get the scoop. He had to narrate the whole thing. Okay, shit gets depressing now.
The government has set up an emergency countermeasure team tasked with facing this situation today. We will provide more information as it comes in.
The entirety of our main character's family is stuck at home, like it's COVID or something. However, unlike the disease we all went through, you can't really argue about the validity of staying indoors in this case. But damn, the father in this scenario, nobody can keep him inside.
What's up with all this crazy crap?
Either way, I'm still heading to the office. There's some work that must be done today, no matter what.
The work ethic on that guy is very impressive. And his plan to make it to his car and then to work isn't really all that bad. Just like me, you're probably thinking of a million different ways to avoid the balloon nooses, and doing this, covering up your neck, it makes sense to do. But damn it, guys, we can't forget that this is Mr. Ito's world, and he will ensure that you die, even if it makes no goddamn sense.
Here it comes.
I'm gonna continue to state how unfair this is. I mean, it doesn't even need to snap your neck. It'll just squeeze you to death. Damn it. It's mostly aggravating because I was trying to outsmart the master, and it's not working. 1 down, 3 to go. How in the world is this family gonna survive? Some time passes and they're running out of food. So the younger brother thinks, I got a perfect idea. Don't worry guys, I'm gonna go grab some food.
Damn it! Here it comes!
Okay, strangely his umbrella Tom Brady maneuver really works, so he gets away, leaving just the two ladies to wait on his return.
What are you doing?
Okay, see ya. What? Well, the main character is the only remaining person inside the house. The sheer hopelessness and loneliness would drive anybody insane. Just the quiet nothingness that you experience day to day, waiting, would be terrifying. But there are worse things that could happen.
Hey, Kusuko, open up. The weather outside is wonderful. Ugh, what's your deal? You're the only one that's still being stubborn about this.
The balloon people start talking. I guess you could shoot them down now because they've already killed everybody else. Either way, everything's looking rather bleak. That is until we get just a little bit of hope.
Hey, big sis, are you there?
Yasuke?
Please, open up. I brought some food. If you don't hurry, that thing, my head will come flying over. I can only run from it for so long.
Hell yeah, it's Umbrella Boy. Doesn't she live on the second floor?
Yasuke.
Well, it didn't work. And that's the end of the episode. It is truly always a trip when you experience Junji Ito's creations. Almost never do you come out of them feeling better than before. So, sorry about that. Well, guys, that was a spooktastic 3 episodes we just went through. And honestly, I really like spooky stuff, so if you want to see more like this, it doesn't have to be a Halloween special. I'll probably do it as long as you let me know. With that being said, however, I've been your American Otaku. This, of course, has been my co-host, 02. And I'll catch you next time.